Hi and welcome to OnSide SA, where we're going to try and keep you going with the soccer competition, last one standing. Most people got through this week, and Budge, just looking at it, the fancy teams came through.
Yeah, the guys are slowly learning how to play it, Paul. You know, you look at a lot of Brighton people, a lot of the lesser teams.
Yeah,
so guys are boxing clever, yeah.
I still think you need a lot of luck in the sense that some guys are taking 10 teams.
Yeah.
But
you still got to go through.
You've got to go through. It's not easy.
So it's not easy.
Just looking at the people who came with the rough picks, Kerry Varga and Dave Thistleton.
Yeah, they were on Watford and Crystal Palace respectively. So, Paul, I give them the award on the biggest odds.
Yeah, anyone who picked Watford should get a medal.
Yep, last second too they scored.
That's right. Yeah. And then the favourite so far has got to be Anthony Searle.
Yeah, Anthony's done well. He's used a lot of the lower teams, Paul. He's Southampton's
and
got Crystal
7 alive.
7 alive's done well. I spoke to him yesterday at the course. He's pretty confident.
And my Muppets from overseas, only Derek's gone. Charlie Pigram's
Charlie
Spurs.
Pigram's through, Micah Bird and Steve survived.
Stevie V's still in. They're going to get our international punter. Just to let you know the figures, 228 of 225. So 7 people went out there.
Yep.
This week, over 100 will go. But I don't know what the teams are, but they've got to get them in by when?
Well, Saturday morning, 10 o'clock. There's no Friday game, fortunately.
Nothing, okay. We're trying to get Stevie on the line. He's in the studio. We should get the thumbs up any moment. Okay, let's see. Steve, are you there?
I'm here, thank you.
Hello, Steve. Nice to meet the...
One of those sort of trains, planes and automobiles morning.
Yeah, I believe so. No trains for you?
No trains, although they didn't tell us until after the train should have already have come into the station, so that was fine. Change of plan.
Okay, firstly, we want to touch obviously on Champions League, and let's just quickly touch on Tuesday's game, Steve, where Tottenham beat Borussia Dortmund, and I watched that game, obviously, and we got roasted for 30 minutes. Roasted.
Well, I think that, it was all about, we said last week, I mean, they're going to come at you all guns blazing, and then it was not conceding an early goal. And, whether it was by luck or good defending, and I think probably the latter as well, they held out. And as soon as Harry Kane scored, you could see the life just ebbed out of the Dortmund players, and it was game over. And it was a job well done, over the 2 legs.
Yeah.
To win 4-0 without conceding, it's convincing.
And is this the early signs of the demise of Real Madrid with their current squad?
I think so. I think that it just shows what maybe it was a mistake on their part, sort of not giving Ronaldo another sort of contract, but they just got torn apart by a very young and exciting sort of Ajax team, and I think that there will be some substantial changes there in Madrid in the summer.
Yeah, I see Sergio Ramos got his just dues, trying to...
Absolutely. I mean, if ever there was divine justice, to actually sort of, to think that they were actually through, and to do that, I think that really backfired on him, and he got what he deserved, and so did Real. I mean, they were well beaten.
Yeah, Steve, you got to talk about Man United last night. Did you watch the game?
Yes, I mean, just unbelievable. I mean, obviously it was a great start, but even then, for the first sort of 15 minutes or so, you thought that, PSG was just going to rip them apart. They just seemed to be, especially, I mean, Eric Bailly, I mean, had a nightmare.
Yeah.
And, as the commentator said, maybe it was a blessing in disguise. He had to go off because they just looked more solid. But, they were, Angel Di Maria, just had the run of the green on that side. But, they just looked shaky at the back here, and United, just kept probing away in that first half, and probably deserved, their goals. But you couldn't have written the ending like that, could you? It's, and thank goodness for VAR.
Yeah. What did you make of the penalty?
May or may not have given it if there was no VAR to back it up.
Yeah. Did you think it was a penalty?
I mean, the letter of the law, it was a penalty, but you've seen these not given as well. Now, whether or not the referee knew that it was going to go to VAR, or but ultimately it seemed like an eternity though, wasn't it? It was somewhere between 4 and 5 minutes, and the same with the Porto game as well. They had a late penalty as well, but it's a fantastic performance. I mean, whether or not that was better than the Juventus away, different sort of circumstances. But when you look at the players United had out, I mean, it's an unbelievable performance and win. And look, all of a sudden, you know, you were thinking it's going to be one of the big Spanish giants, you know, all cruising through, and now you've got sort of one out, and you could have, you know, 3, if not 4 British teams to go through.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Roma too, Stevie. Roma are out as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, evidently that's their 8th defeat in a row away from home in the knockout stages in the Champions League. So they don't travel as well. I mean, it was a tight run game. Porto, I just saw the highlights, but you know, the stats show that Porto had something like 30 shots on goal. You know, that they really sort of, you know, took the game to them, and they're a sort of bit of dark horses. I can't see them winning it, but you know, they've surprised 1 or 2 teams in the past, as we know.
Yeah. Yeah, the quarterfinals, Stevie, on the 9th and 10th and 16th and 17th.
Steve, I see they've changed the draw. I know years ago they're doing the quarterfinals and the semi-final draws at the same time. So you'll know who you meet if you go through.
They've done with the Europa League over a number of years. You know, not quite. In a way, it takes away a little bit of the excitement because, you know, obviously you get through the quarters, then you got the excitement of seeing who you're going to get in the semis. But I guess at least, you know, then teams know their path to the final, as it were. But I mean, the good thing for the you know, for United particularly is they've got, you know, best part of the month to get you know, a few more players back and into the squad.
Yeah.
You know, as I say now, the pressure is on Liverpool, I think. But I think, you know, it shows that you know, what can be done. You know, although I think that's going to be a tough ask for Liverpool now. Bayern Munich have just seemed to be finding a little bit of form, got themselves back up to the top of the Bundesliga again. So
you'll see. Steve, talking to United, we go away to the Emirates to play Arsenal. How do you see that panning out?
I think it'll be a tough game. I mean, Arsenal, we know, are playing away this evening in Rennes in France, but they don't have the sort of injury problems that United do. And I think if United, I know they won there and they won well there in the cup. I think United, you know, a point wouldn't be a bad result, and I think that I can see a draw there. But I can't see somehow after the, you know, unless they can get 1 or 2 players back, I think that you know, after the exertions of last night, I think it'll be a tough one to go to the Emirates and win.
Okay, and how do you see Southampton going against Tottenham?
Well, Southampton you know, are in trouble, and Tottenham, I think, may be buoyed by that result, and they need to get themselves, you know, back winning again in the league. I think Tottenham, you know, could go down there and get a win.
Yeah.
So do I.
Can you see Wolves?
Paul, I've never known you not predict Tottenham to win. So.
We'll pick them in the last one standing, Steve. So that'll keep you happy. Steve, can you see Wolves upsetting Chelsea?
Well, they're a funny team. I mean, look, last week they had a shocker and lost at you know, to Huddersfield, and no one could have seen, you know, would have predicted that, and they were poor. You just don't know what you're going to get. I don't think they will. I think Chelsea are just finding just a little bit of form. Obviously, having beaten Tottenham, won a close derby at Fulham, I think Chelsea are not going to want to give up that 4th place spot without a fight. So I think Chelsea might just edge that.
And can you see your boys Fulham getting a point at Leicester?
I think they're capable of doing it if they could play as they did in the second half against Chelsea. But, you know, obviously, again, Leicester got a new manager. I think that's, you know, I mean, it's too late for us now, whatever we do. And I think that we've just got to, you know, to sort of put the smiles back on some of the fans' faces. So, you know, I'd take a draw because I think we just got to find a way to stop sort of losing these games.
Yeah. Talking in relegation, can Cardiff upset West Ham?
They can do, but I don't think they will. I think West Ham are a funny team, but they haven't been playing badly recently.
Yeah.
You know, so they played very well in the first half against sort of Newcastle last week. I don't think so. They've just lost. Cardiff have just lost Sol Bamba for the rest of the season, who's been a bit sort of solid in their defence. They had a couple of bad home defeats recently, and then lost away again. I think if anything, if either going to be a draw or West Ham might win that one.
Yeah. Steve, on to the Championship. Norwich keep astounding me. Friday night against Swansea. You think they'll continue their good run?
Well, you know, form would suggest they will do. I mean, Swansea are very consistent, really not playing well away from home, and I think Norwich, you know, can see that they can open up a little bit of a gap on sort of third place. So I'm going to go with a home win there.
Yeah. Sheffield United be too good for Rotherham?
I would think so. I mean, Rotherham, you know, good, solid at home, but don't travel. and Sheffield United want to get back to winning ways after the sort of 0-0 draw on Monday night in the Sheffield derby.
Yeah. Other big game, Bristol City at home to Leeds.
That is a big game, and Bristol have just had a bit of a blip. I mean, they obviously lost at home to Birmingham, got a late goal and a draw at Preston. Leeds were superb against West Brom last week. I can't see Bristol upsetting Leeds if Leeds play like that.
Yeah. Middlesbrough, Brentford. See two teams going well.
Yeah, I mean Brentford are really one of the most inconsistent teams. They've won something like eight a row at home, but only won one away from home.
Yeah.
But they've got players who can score goals. But Middlesbrough are a tough team to beat. They've just slipped a little bit. They're just falling away of
automatic. Yeah.
I think it's going to be a tight game. I think maybe Middlesbrough might just edge it by one.
Yeah, and Birmingham City, Aston Villa on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, again, form often goes out the window. It's a big derby. Villa found some form as from unexpected last week. Really put Derby to the sword. I think it's going to be a close game. I think that's going to be either a draw or possibly a Villa win. I don't think that Birmingham have got quite enough to beat them.
Okay, that sounds very interesting. Just Derby County won during the week, didn't they?
Yeah, they beat Wigan 2-1.
Yeah, they did. It was evidently unconvincing first half performance. Got a couple of good goals, and they needed to do that because they really were put to the sword by Villa the last weekend.
They got Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, and I don't think that will be easy. I mean, I watched the Sheffield derby. I mean, it was a fairly dour game, but Wednesday under Steve Bruce are just showing a lot more fight than they did a couple of months ago. So I think that's going to be a tight game.
Excellent, Stevie. Last one standing. I always like to end with that, and that you're still in for another week is fantastic.
Week 4.
Yes.
It hasn't been known. So.
So are you going to give it some serious thought? Eh?
I am due, and I will let Budge know today.
Excellent, fantastic, Stevie. As always, great to talk to you.
Yeah, and I'd say you boys must be thrilled after this week. So, who knows? I just, it'd be interesting if you get each other in the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
I'll have to be the referee.
I wouldn't mind a bit of Porto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be looking at Porto and thinking they're the team to play, and I don't know how they do the draw for who is seeded, who's up.
No, there's no seeding in the quarterfinal. It's just straight out the hat.
So in that case, then obviously it could be a great advantage if you could get Porto or Ajax. I think, but so let's see. Anyway, good talking to you both.
All right, Steve.
All right, Stevie. Thanks very much, pal. Speak to you later.
Bye.
Cheers, and bye-bye. Right, let's move on. Budge, we've got the league fixtures ahead of us. We've got to get your input on these games. There's some interesting games. That everything's tightening up, and a lot of people will be listening to what you say to who they're going to pick this weekend. No Watford for me, just at the record show. Right, let's start off with Crystal Palace. They've had a good season.
It's a
they
derby.
can't get relegated,
No,
can they?
but the only problem Palace have is at home.
Yeah.
Well, they've won 1 at 6 at home, but Brighton
Brighton
are struggling.
away?
Brighton got beat Huddersfield in the last game, which was a major 3 points for Chris Hughton.
Yes.
I think there's goals in this, Paul. Of the two teams, Palace, the betting suggests it. But I think a draw is a big player here, Paul.
Okay, I'm going to put that down there for you. Now, Cardiff having lost the Bamba.
Yeah, shame, Paul. They just look like a relegation team. I watched them the other night. Everton destroyed them. I think West Ham 13-10 is a good bet, Paul. West Ham have come right. I know away from home they haven't been the best, but they've played well against some good teams, Paul, and I think they'll be too good for Cardiff City,
Okay. Huddersfield Town. The new guys got them trying to attack.
Yeah, he's got them, Jan Seward. Bournemouth have lost the last 9 away from home.
There's a school of thought that say it's got to stop.
Well, if it's going to stop, it should be at Huddersfield. Huddersfield battle for goals, but Huddersfield have fought hard the last couple of weeks, Paul.
Geez,
if ever there's an upset in the league, this could be it. But Bournemouth parked the bus against Man City, and Eddie Howe doesn't normally do that.
They won't park it against
Huddersfield. Well, they shouldn't, but I can't trust them away from home. I think there'll be goals in this one, but
so open game.
Should be an open game. Yeah.
Okay, then let's go Leicester City, Fulham.
It should be Leicester. I'm not a lover of Brendan Rodgers. I see they broke into his house in Scotland last night to repossess the medals he won from Celtic. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
But Fulham, I was impressed with them against Chelsea.
Yeah, they had a go.
Scott Parker's got them organised, but it's different away from home, and you've got Vardy. I've got to fancy Leicester, Paul. They should be too good for Fulham.
Okay. Newcastle, Everton. Interesting game.
Yeah, interesting game. I think they should have a draw written all over it. Everton played well against Liverpool, but that was their cup final. Newcastle won their last 4 at home. Rafa's got them. He's playing the 3 up front. It should be a good game to watch, but a draw a big player for me in that game.
Okay, let's move on. Now, the Southampton Spurs. Southampton, when you look probably a few months back, you said, no, you're going to go beat them.
Yeah.
There's this Austrian guy.
He's got them. Hasenhutl's got them well.
He's got them playing well, and they played well away from home against United.
They didn't deserve to lose to United.
No, they didn't deserve to lose, but this is a different game. Is the consistency back, do you think?
Well, the key's going to be Tottenham for me. Are they going to go and have a go, which they normally do?
Well, they have to.
But I think there's goals in this, Paul. Southampton, they got nothing to lose. I think it's fortunate that Cardiff are slowly falling off the bus, but he's had a go, the Austrian.
Yeah.
So I think obviously the betting gives you Tottenham to win, but I think there's goals in this.
Yeah, I'm hoping Tottenham win. If they play the right team and they should be too good for them, but it's always difficult. Man City 1-7.
Yeah, you can't take that, Paul. But Watford's last appearance at Anfield was disgraceful.
Yeah.
It's easy playing at home in the tight pitch there.
I think they'll get rolled here.
Yeah, I think so. I looked at both teams. Man City to win both halves was even money, 6-10 to score in both halves.
Are they even money to win both halves?
Yeah.
That's a good bet.
Yeah, that's what it was yesterday. So if I was having a bet, that would be the bet in that game. I looked over
I would
3.5
go
goals.
I'd go for that because they're going to terrorise the other team.
Yeah, they have a full go, Man City, obviously, but they start from the jump. Some teams ease into the game. They go from the jump.
Yeah, no, you got to compliment Pep Guardiola. He's a good team to watch, top notch, and he's not the top for nothing. Liverpool are at very restrictive odds, but Burnley parked the bus. They've done it with Spurs, Arsenal. They come into town and they have their 2 boys up front and the rest just behind the ball. They got some bruises.
Oh, no, they'll have a full go. If Liverpool score early, it should be game over, but the longer it goes, but you've got to think Liverpool. They don't concede goals, Paul.
Yeah.
So Van Dijk and cut the back at Tardis.
Didn't Palace put a few past him?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Van Dijk is already well clear on the polling for Player of the Year.
Paul, it must be. Paul, if you have a look at all the world-class players in England, for me, he's the best player in the league.
Yeah, he's a great player. Great player. And he organises them, and the people around him look better because of him.
Because of him, yeah.
When Matip played with Lovren, they looked all at sea. You bring Matip in next to him, it's a different team. Now, Liverpool should be very hard to beat.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Wolves.
Paul, I just think this could be the upset if there is.
So you got upset written
This got upset over. Chelsea played tonight against Dynamo Kiev. I know they have come right, but Wolves have performed well against the top teams. They beat Spurs away. They drew at Man United.
That's right.
They drew at Arsenal. He parks the bus and plays 3 at the back. They're a dangerous team, and they beat Chelsea 2-1.
Yeah. How about Arsenal, Man United? Now, this is a hell of a game. Man United, they're good at home, Arsenal.
Yeah.
Don't take it away from them. They're good at home.
Well, De Gea's kept us in it the last few times we've gone to the Emirates. I wouldn't be taking 13-10. Yeah, true. I think a draw player here, Paul. You just don't know about the hype, how many United players are coming back. Obviously, Pogba's coming back. There's rumours Lingard may be back. But 13-10, they won their last 8, 12 wins and 2 draws in the last 14.
They're good at home, Arsenal.
Games,
I see draw.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, I see draw.
Yeah, United, we take a draw, Paul.
Okay, now we move on to Championship. Very interesting now.
Yeah, it starts picking up, Paul.
Norwich, Swansea.
Yeah, I got to fancy Norwich. They've been on a roll, scoring goals. The Finnish guy, Pukki, he's finishing well. Scored a couple the other day against, was it Millwall? They beat 7-10. It's a pity we haven't got them on TV, Paul. But 7-10. They're not in our bets because it's a Friday game, but 7-10, it looks a good thing.
How about Blackburn?
Yeah, local derby, Blackburn, Preston. Paul, Preston, we've won our last 4 away from home.
You're still not in the top 10, eh?
Yeah, well, we're only about 6 points off the playoffs.
Yeah.
But a big game for us, Paul. Lunchtime kickoff. Fancy us to get a result, but a draw wouldn't surprise me there.
Okay. Sheffield United.
Yeah, it should be Sheffield United. They're a good team. They're third, Paul.
4-10, eh?
Yeah, Rotherham, I think, have drawn 9 out of the last 11. And it's a Yorkshire derby, you never know. But Sheffield are a good team.
Yeah, but it's 4-10. So you're right, they're a good team. Bolton.
Well, it's last chance saloon for Bolton, Paul. Millwall away from home are terrible. Other than the FA Cup where they've got to the quarterfinals, they've been terrible. Last chance saloon, as I said, for Bolton. Bolton in a draw for me there, Paul.
Okay. How about Bristol Leeds? Leeds are a good team.
Leeds are a good team. Great result beating, they beat West Brom 4-0 at home. I fancy them against Bristol City, Paul.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be taking
Bristol City,
a 14 to 10.
not bad. Not a bad
Yeah,
team
they
too.
competed against Wolves in the Cup.
I'd like
but,
to have these games. I
pity
know.
we couldn't watch it.
Derby are just off the playoffs.
Yeah.
Apart from winning during the week, it was a bit of a slide.
Yeah, they're struggling, Paul. Steve Bruce they don't concede many goals now at Sheffield Wednesday. I think Sheffield Wednesday get at least a draw here.
Okay,
Derby
so
this time of the
2
year
and 3
tend to
for
have a
you.
blip. Sheffield Wednesday and a draw for me there.
Middlesbrough, Brentford.
Yeah, Middlesbrough for me, Paul.
13 to
Brentford
10.
away from home. Yep, Middlesbrough for me there, Paul.
They're in
Tony
the playoff
Pulis,
spots.
they've drawn a couple of games too. They drew at Wigan, was a great chance to close the gap. But the top three have been winning games: Leeds, Sheffield United, and Norwich.
Yeah.
And if you draw 1 or 2, Paul, the gap's
Yeah.
becoming quite big. But I think they'll be too good for Brentford.
You know the story. You play 8 games, you draw them all.
Yeah.
And if you play 8 games and you
Win
lose
3,
5,
yeah.
you win 3, you're ahead of them. So you've got to win games.
You've got to go for it, Paul.
Got to win games. Okay, Notts Forest,
Now,
Hull
this should
City.
be a good game, Paul.
Hull
Notts
City
Forest,
10th.
Yeah, they're going well. But Notts Forest at home are hard to beat. They got beat by Stoke last week, which it ended. Wouldn't say ended their playoff, but it was a major blow for their playoff hopes. Of the two teams, I like Forest, Paul, but it should be an open game.
The Wally with the Brolly, QPR is a
Yeah.
long way down. Eh?
Yeah, Stoke can't win away from home. QPR have only won 1 of 8. Also, it's a field game. Any result wouldn't surprise me there, as much as I think there will be goals because they're both desperate. But Stoke have got the better players. But they've been disappointing. A draw for me in that game.
Peter Crouch gone to Burnley.
He's at Burnley, yeah.
Reading, Wigan.
Yeah, I like Reading here, Paul. Unbeaten the last 5 at home. Wigan have been terrible away from home. They've only won 1 of 14.
So it's a fair price
Fair
if you like
price,
him.
14 to 10, yeah.
Right, there's 2 more. Albion,
Yeah, it's
playing
got to be
against the
West
town.
Brom. Ipswich have a go. Paul Lambert's there. They've been competitive of late, but since West Brom lost Harvey Barnes, remember the youngster, he was on loan from Leicester, they've really struggled. Away at home they've been battling, but
They 1-3.
They 1-3, but just because Ipswich are bottom of the league and they're in the playoff hopes, so over 2.5 goals. I think I saw 7.5 to 10, Paul. So that would be the bet I had in that game.
And then Birmingham are doing right against Villa.
Birmingham, they've slowly eased off. I like Aston Villa. Jack Grealish is back.
Who coaches Birmingham? They've had a few
Gary
coaches.
Monk.
Gary Monk,
He took over from Harry.
Yeah.
I just think Aston Villa, Jack Grealish is a key player in their team. He came back. You see his volley? His goal of the week. I think
he nearly got bought by Spurs, and they had the needle because they wouldn't release him.
That's
He had
right,
the needle.
25 million, yeah. So he's back from injury. Obviously, local derbies are always tight, but 16 to 10 Aston Villa's in our play, Paul.
Okay, dokie. Let's go PSL, Budge. PSL's very interesting as well. On Tuesday, we had some games.
Yeah.
Cape Town City beat Sundowns.
What a good game, Paul. It was 1-1 and I turned over, and the guy scored a free kick in like 3 minutes to go. They have a go, Benny's team. They're back in the game. They've got a chance to win the league.
Have they?
Yeah, big chance.
Are they and Orlando Pirates? I know Bloom Celtic were leading.
Celtic were 1, Pirates obviously
They
equalised.
did it
1-1.
on the equaliser, Bloom. They did it around the box. I saw it.
Yeah, but
And then Wednesday, Free State Stars, Polokwane.
I watched a bit of this, Paul. How Free State Stars never won, I don't know. They missed chance after chance, and then
They're a fair
Polokwane
side.
caught them on the break. Yeah,
they're a
the
fair
league log
side.
doesn't show so, but
Let's have a look at the league log, Budge. For the people out there who want to know what's happening in our local football, it's always disjointed because of people,
a
teams
lot of
playing in
catch-up
Africa.
games have been playing
Catch-up
lately,
games. Top of the league, Pirates.
yeah.
Well, them and Mamelodi Sundowns have got 40 points, but Sundowns got a game in hand.
yeah.
39 points, Cape Town City played 23. Now, Bidvest Wits on 38. So give them a win, they would go to 41. So they're back in 4-way.
Well, they would have been top. They were 2-0 up. They cost us our bet
3-2.
last time. They got beat by Cape Town City.
2-0 up.
So,
Hunt could not have been happy.
no, Gary, he wasn't. I didn't listen to him, but you can imagine, Gary.
So, Budge 4-horse race.
yeah,
I can't see him going any
definitely,
further. Now, at the bottom of the log, it looks very interesting because there's only 16 teams in this league. The bottom is Maritzburg United, Budge. 17 points of 22
They've won
games.
2 of the last 3. They beat Amazulu in injury time the other day. Eric Tingman's got them firing.
So they've got a chance. If they've got 17 points, also on 22 games is Chipper United coming under pressure. 21 points, Free State Stars. I think they won't go down.
No.
They're too good at home. 21 points, Baraka FC. And 22 points, Black Leopards, who have a game in hand on the other 4 I mentioned. This is as tight as the top.
Yeah.
This is
Desperate,
very interesting.
Paul. There's
It's
some big
desperate.
games
This is
this
desperate
weekend as
stakes.
well.
So you guys out there, very, very desperate. But let's go have a look at the fixtures. Budge has gone through them. Budge, start me off with
I like
Highlands.
Highlands, Paul. They were competitive against Chiefs last Saturday.
Yes,
They got beat 3-2. They played well. They're hard to beat. I think 14 to 10. But Baraka at home are terrible. They're unbeaten in the last 6 away.
That's amazing.
It's strange. They won the Telkom knockout. I like Highlands of the 2 team. Owen de Gama's got them going well.
Are they up on the Halfveld?
Yep.
Because that's where the old team
That's
used
the
to
old
be.
Highlands, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Polokwane,
Joburg.
Budge?
Polokwane, just watching them last night, Paul, they were terrible. It wouldn't surprise me if Arrows got a result there. It's
28 to 10
but
Arrows.
Arrows have drawn 8 of the last 9 away games. So Steve will park the bus, try and catch him on the break. So the draw looks the player.
Yeah.
But win and draw for me there.
Chiefs in 7th, eh?
I think there's goals there, Paul. I saw 14 to 10, over 2.5 goals. Eric Tinker's not going to sit back with Maritzburg.
Should be a good game.
Should be a good game.
Hard to beat Chiefs.
Hard to beat Chiefs. They're playing in Joburg. I know they play a lot of games in Durban, but that's at the FNB. 6 to 10 Chiefs looks a good thing. But I just thought the value.
I'm a Zulu Bidvest. This is a humdinger.
Big game for Gavin,
Big game. And I'm a Zulu, no walkovers. They
only lost 1 at 12. That was to Chiefs. The last 12
wow,
at
this
home.
will be a big game. When they're playing
This is
Saturday
night. Yeah, big game for Gavin. I don't see the way they're going, Paul. They've fallen off the bus lately.
Gavin has to turn it here.
Yeah, this is a big
Can't
result.
lose.
Win or draw, I'm a Zulu for me, Paul. Yeah.
Okay. The Black
Yeah,
Leopards.
I like Black Leopards to beat Chipper. Well, I watched them against Wits at home, and they got beat in the cup. But this isn't a bad team, especially at home. 14 to 10's in our play, Paul.
Supersport United Free State Stars.
It should be Supersport. They won 4 or 5, but the one they got beat was the one that cost us. Free State Stars played well last night. I'm sorry, last night. So don't be surprised. But Supersport have got some good players.
All right, but tell me about your soccer sixes.
Yeah.
You've been on the button with your bets
we've been,
lately,
not
so
bad,
you're really on top of it.
Yeah, I've gone the field with the Crystal Palace Brighton game. I've thrown the draw in Highlands Park, win and draw at home against Baraka. I've gone Polokwane, win and draw at home against Chiefs. Against Golden Arrows. I've banked Chiefs to beat Maritzburg. I've gone the field in the Amazulu Bidvest Wits game. Mamelodi Sundowns are playing Lobi Stars from Nigeria. They're playing at home. If they win, they're through the semi-finals. I think they'll beat them. I know they lost 2-1 at home, but the pitch was terrible. So I think Sundowns. So we banked Sundowns, Paul, 216.
Okay, the next one, Budge.
The second one, obviously, is a premiership. I've gone 3 bankers, 3 fields. I've banked West Ham to beat Cardiff. I've gone the field in the Huddersfield Bournemouth game. I've banked Leicester to beat Fulham. I've gone the field in Newcastle, Everton, and Southampton Spurs looking for a result.
That's a banker
because
3.
I think
That's
Man
3.
City will beat Watford. So it's 162.
Watford? Gee. Okay, the 10.
The 10, yeah. I've gone the field in Newcastle, Everton. I've banked Celtic to beat Aberdeen. I've gone Bolton, win and draw at home against Millwall. I've sided with Leeds United to get a good result at Bristol City. I've banked Middlesbrough to beat Brentford. Second page, I've gone the field in the Notts Forest Hull City game. I've gone QPR, win and draw at home against Stoke. I've banked Reading to beat Wigan. I've gone for Sheffield United, win and draw at Derby County. And I've banked West Brom to beat Ipswich 288.
Lovely. Budge.
Yeah,
You're still known as the 12 man.
Cursing, but what do we do?
You can't get the 13.
There's always one bad result that snares us. Anyway, we've got to keep trying, Paul. Banked Man City to beat Watford. I've gone with West Ham to beat Cardiff City. I've gone Huddersfield, win and draw against Bournemouth. I've banked Leicester to beat Fulham. I've gone Newcastle, win and draw at home against Everton. I've gone Tottenham, win and draw at Southampton. I've also gone with the away team in Leeds United, win and draw at Bristol City. The second page, I've gone Notts Forest, win and draw against Hull City. Bolton Wanderers, win and draw at home against Millwall. I've gone with Sheffield United to get at least a draw at Derby County.
Sheffield Wednesday.
Sorry, Sheffield Wednesday, apologies. I've banked Middlesbrough to beat Brentford. I've gone QPR, win and draw at home against Stoke. And I've banked Reading to beat Wigan, 435.
Lovely. 435. Okay, Budge. Punting time. Let's have a look at these, Budge. Tell me your quartet thinking.
Yeah, I've gone West Ham to beat Cardiff. I just think Wolves were a big price, win and draw at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Leicester Fulham and Southampton Tottenham game, 3,200 to 200.
We'll win 4-0.
Yeah.
Keep
Championship, I've gone Aston Villa to beat Birmingham. I've gone Middlesbrough to beat Brentford. And I've gone the goals route again, over 2.5 goals in the Notts Forest Hull and West Brom Ipswich Town game, 3,800 to 200. A PSL treble, I've gone Black Leopards to beat Chipper. I've gone Highlands Park to beat Baraka. And I've gone over 2.5 goals in the Kaiser Chiefs Maritzburg, 2,600 to 200.
And both teams to
score. Teams this week are Crystal Palace Brighton. Huddersfield, Bournemouth,
Geez, you know how many bad sides you're using?
Blackburn,
Lowest.
Preston,
Wow.
Bolton, Millwall, and QPR Stoke.
Budge.
5,000.
That can never come in. There's too
Okay.
many bad teams there.
You know,
And
it's
the last two-
desperation time,
No,
Paul.
of course,
so they've
you're
got
right,
to.
you're right.
Yeah, the Spanish treble. I've gone Real Betis to beat Celta Vigo. I've gone Getafe to beat Huesca and over 2.5 total goals. And I've gone over 3.5 goals in the Barcelona Rayo Vallecano game. 2,900 to 200.
The Collis King.
And the Collis King, I've gone Man City to beat Watford. I've gone West Ham to beat Cardiff. I've thrown a lurker in Aston Villa to beat Birmingham. I've gone Bayern Munich to beat Wolfsburg. Atletico Madrid to beat Leganes. And Getafe to beat Huesca. 3,600 to 200.
Right, Budge, where you have been hot is your best bet every week is just about take money. And you don't go but less than even money.
No,
which is,
Paul, it's value, Paul.
it's value. So your best bet is West Ham. They're away.
Yeah, they were 12, 13 to 10. But I think they'll beat Cardiff. You know, Cardiff looked like a relegation team. If West Ham can survive the first 30 minutes, I think they'll destroy them, yeah.
Your value bet, but value bet. I'll come through in a moment with that. But your value bet quickly.
It's Real Betis, Paul. You know, they've been involved in the Copa del Rey, which is a Spanish cup. They've just been knocked out of that by Valencia. They got knocked out of the Europa League by Rennes. They now only got the league to concentrate on, Paul. They're a good team. 21 to 10 away from home, I think, is false. I think they should be favourites. Celta Vigo, third bottom and struggling. The value, Paul, 21 to 10.
Before we go anywhere, Charlie Pegram was our Spurs man. He was over to watch the match in Germany. He sent us this little clip of the Spurs fans singing. And another clip we were sent by Blackpool.
Yeah, Kevin, my mate. He lives
Blackpool
in...
Kev.
Yeah, Kevin, great guy. Originally from Blackpool. Lives in Cheswick, which is outside of Manchester. And I was liaising with him before the game. He was in Paris, Eiffel Tower with his flag that he lost in Durban, which we found. But he sent me the clip after the game in Paris last night.
Let's have a quick look at the Man United. This is Champions League clip for United. There we go. Ollie's at the wheel.
Ollie's at the wheel.
Great song.
Brilliant song, yeah.
Ollie's how does it feel? Ollie's at the wheel, eh?
We've got Sanchez, Paul Pogba and Fred. Marcus Rashford, a Manc born and bred. The greatest of English football. We've won it all.
Fantastic. There we go. Don't forget, last one standing. Get those bets on. Until next week, stay on side.